But talking about respecting the fans, Gary, I want to go ahead and talk about The Expanse. Because like the Orville showmakers, the Expanse showmakers are the epitome of fan respect. They love the fans. They care about the fans. The Expanse is, to my way of thinking, the very best show on television right now. I absolutely adore The Expanse. I adore the people who are making it. They've been very kind and respectful to me. And I'm just blown away. I have to say, the trailer that I saw in the 5-minute clip was the most memorable thing I've seen in a long time. Holy shit. Without even a line of dialogue, they made my emotion, they made me emotional when I saw that clip. Naomi, walking out on the planet, the gravity, looking up in the sky, falling down. The Expanse is a science fiction masterpiece made by committed people who love the material, love the genre, and love the fans. They love their job. And that joy is infectious and is evident in every single frame. I am blown away by The Expanse, and I am so excited for season 4. What did you think?
I loved it's a major change from the book, by the way. So when you saw that clip, that is Naomi Nagata walking on a planet for the first time in her life. She's never walked on a planet before.
Yeah.
So that was a major change from the book. She's been on ships that have landed, but the way the Belters are, if you're born in space, you have to take a bunch of drugs and do a bunch of training before you can even go down, and it's still a miserable experience for you. But there is no, and this is going to be a big plot point in the future. You have this entire group of people who were raised in space, and now everything has changed because the gates are open and there's planets. And you have to deal with a bunch of people. A lot of them can't live on planets. So they have to find a place for them. Everything's getting shifted around. And that's somewhat the premise out in the future. This is one of the most interesting books to adapt because there's a lot of, it really does expand. You're on a planet for the first time. Crazy shit happens. Crazy. But I thought it was a good change. I think there'll be some book people who might be unhappy with this. But we'll see. We'll have to see. I'm very excited for it. I love the clip. I was surprised because I saw the teaser and I'm like, wait, there's another 5-minute trailer. Oh shit. And it was a great example of not using dialogue, but still telling a great story. Something Dan and Dave couldn't do.
Right.
I hope The Expanse continues their great ways of being a political show that does not alienate any of its fans or viewers within or without the narrative. You might want to ignore the writers of the book a little bit on Twitter, but I mean, other than that, which I do, the writers and the production office are fine. Yeah, it's a damn good show. It's the best show on television. Like the Orville and The Expanse are the two best shows. I've been a huge Expanse fan since I first saw it. I downed all the books. The last book was much better than the previous one, and they're going to have to change a lot, to be honest with you. I won't tell you why, but the show will be very different from the books from here on out because of some of the story structure, we'll just say.
Well, I'm happy about that because I don't read the books,
There you go.
And it's like a consolation prize when the show wraps. I will have the books then to read and go in a totally different direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good thing. I think my view in The Expanse is very positive on the show is because I didn't read the books first. I saw the show first, then I downed all the books, and it was a great experience. And they're pretty damn close. Don't get me wrong. But as time goes on, there'll be changes. But what Rand Shankar has done is genius. That dude is genius. What he's done with that show. So and the thing is, that's the key. You have Rand Shankar, you have Seth MacFarlane. These are two guys who know science fiction, who know writing, and story comes first over all things. And that's all we ask for. That's it. It's a simple request of somebody who wants to give you money and time.
Yep.
And they deserve it. The Expanse and the Orville deserve it. Deserve your time, deserve our money, whatever you can spend, it's not limitless.
Yeah. Look, let's stop going into the past. Let us encourage these new franchises, these new stories, these new voices, the Orville, the Expanse. For God's sakes, when these things come about, please, people, support them. Go out of your way to support quality television. Otherwise, it passes, and the Kurtzmans of the world get a little bit stronger. Jesus Christ, we've got to support greatness wherever we find it. Thank you,
Absolutely.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
A basic premise of a very basic, quick premise of the Expanse. Doomcock has a video on why you should watch the Expanse. You should go watch that video. It's structured a little bit like Game of Thrones. You have multiple factions that kind of run across each other. You have an outside threat, but it's basically a giant it's so grounded in reality. It's what if the UN took over Earth, and it shows the positive and a lot of the negative of what that could be. It's pretty much a disaster. Half the population is on a thing called basic. It's the welfare, and it's the bare minimum of survival. You're just basically watching TV all day and eating, and that's it. Oh shit, my light almost fell. But yeah, it's a great look at that. It shows both sides of the argument, and that's how it's political, but it doesn't get super allegorical for current year stuff. It really tries to imagine, that's where Star Trek Discovery loses everybody. It tries to put in current year politics in a show that's 300 years in the future. The Expanse, like, hey, let's try to think about these problems 300 years from now. Like certain things have been solved, others have not. Some things have remained the same, and it's a very interesting way to look at it, in my opinion.
It is. And, the political aspects of it are intelligent extrapolations, but not woke. There's nothing woke about the Expanse. And yet, paradoxically, it's the most diverse show on television. It's not woke because there's no virtue signaling. It's not woke because they're not like putting down any particular race or sex. Everyone is equal. It's just assumed. And that is the way of the future. That is the way to depict an advanced civilization that's over our bullshit. It's really so funny that all these woke wonders out there, these SJWs, are supporting crap like STD and all these fucking shows, Westworld and stuff, when the shining example of a colorblind world of the future is the Expanse, where it's no longer even an issue. They don't even talk about it. The characters you fall in love with because they're so brilliantly written. They're so beautifully acted. You never even think about it. It just struck me one day, my God, look at how diverse this show is. I mean, it just completely flew under the radar, and it was perfectly done. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just brilliant, you guys. Brilliant. So watch the Expanse, damn it. I give the Expanse the comfy chair, the soft pillows, and a cab fare home. Gary, what do you think?
I meant to type something. Hang on. I agree. I would give it the comfy chair, a little blanket, a drink when it gets home with a little umbrella in it, or some tea, just some tea. And
and some Doomcock
in the morning.
and Doomcock fluffy slippers, like hotel slippers in high-end hotels that they get to wear home. It has little Doomcocks on the toes. There you go.
That's right. I want to answer Conrad Jack's question there, because that's one of the big differences I was talking about in the book. The books do go very female centric towards later on, but they can't do, I won't say why, but they just can't do that in the show. There's no way, because people would stop watching, because it would stop being about the main characters. The books are structured differently. The Rocinante crew gets they're part of the story, but they're never, for a lot of it, parts of the crew or main parts of the story, but not all of the crew. Now, the show relies on all of the crew being the main part of the story. They can't go away from that. So they're going to have to change that. And yeah, there is, I'll tell you right now, there's a character named Michio Pa, who I can't stand in the books. She's in the entire book. I have to skim through her chapters really quick. I can't stand it. And I get through it and I'm fine. But they're adapting one of the best books this season. And then the next season, which Dominic Tipper said, it looks like they're getting a season 5. That is the best book. I can't wait for that book. That book is going to be, if they do it right, hopefully they do it over 2 seasons. That will be the shit. You will love it.